Welcome to the JETS-ALORIDAN podcast here on the Sports Jedi Network. We are reviewing and reacting to Week 4, No Sleep for Moral Victories.
Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy. Destiny and subscribe if you only knew the power of the Sports Jedi.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
This is where the fun begins.
This is the way. This is the way.
You have been well trained, my young apprentice. They will be no match for you.
All right, as we get here to review Week 4 Sunday Night Football, the Jets host the defending Super Bowl champions Kansas City Chiefs in a real good game. My goodness. No sleep for moral victory. I named the title to this game. Let's start it off on Sunday Night Football. No one in the world had given Zach Wilson a chance. A thought. Vegas 9.5-point underdog at home. We had an over and under drinking game of many shots of Taylor Swift versus Jets first downs. The stage was set for the epic fail of Zach Wilson, but like a young Padawan rising up while his master, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, sat in the stands, in attendance, motivated. We saw on Saturday night, he addressed the team and said, enough with the pointing fingers. We're all together, all for one. We play as one. We win as one. And they went out there and they put a tough game. There's a lot of good, there's some bad, and there's some ugly. Let's talk about the bad. Another game where the Jets defense started off slow. I thought, if you want to grade the Jets defense all in all, you could say a B- to a B, especially, spotting the defending champion 17 points. They score on the first 3 offensive possessions. You're thinking, oh boy, this is going to be a long night. You had Chris Collinsworth chomping out the bit, foaming on the mouth with all the Taylor Swift references. You could tell that they had the comedics on standby, the writers ready to give all the punchlines, all the butts of the jokes. But the biggest butt was Zach Wilson, who said, not tonight. In the words of Shinsuke Nakamura, not today. And what did he do? He outplayed Patrick Mahomes. Let's go with that first quarter down 17-0. That was that was a small blessing in disguise. You're down 17-0. And then the Jets defense gets that safety. So they get on the board with 2 points. And I think right there and then, Nathaniel Hackett and company said, you know what? Let's go for it. Let's open up the offense. Screw it. We're down. What do we have to lose? We're down. The defending champions have been scoring on us. Let's do it. He opened up the playbook. I got to give Nathaniel Hackett some kudos, and also Zach Wilson for executing Hackett's game plan. Just sprinkling the ball to it. We saw him throwing to the tight ends. Yes, to the tight ends. We do have tight ends. We also see Lazard, the lizard, making some big plays. We had a touchdown. You see Garrett Wilson, why he is our number 1 pick and offensive rookie of the year, continues to get greater. Oh, we just got to feed that man. Making some catches, running and stretching the field. I thought the offensive line played extremely well. Very positive, very encouraging. They still have to oppose their will on the running game. Well, when we see that the Kansas City Chiefs wants to stack the box, this is what it's going to go from now on. Moving forward, when teams want to stack the box, they got to trust Wilson to open up the offense and open up the play. Hopefully, this is the signature moment for Zach Wilson where the game finally slows down for him. What I mean slows down, that now in his mind, in his secondary reaction or second nature, He gets to see the check downs, the reads, if it's a cover 2, if there's a safety that could over a commit, if where he has the one-on-one, where's his check valves, and so forth, all in a 2 to 3 point second. That's a lot to compute for a human brain, but you know what? That's what separates the mediocre from the great. And if hopefully this game has slowed down where he can make that quick snap decision, we know that the ability and the athleticism and the talent is there for Zach Wilson. It's those intangibles that's going to separate a Zach Wilson to stay as an NFL quarterback, let alone and a starter in the NFL. We saw a lot of encouraging plays from Zach. There was a play, where, if only the tight end could squeeze that football. When he threw that ball, that was sliding, it was in his hands. And just think of that touchdown there right before, almost before the half. Just think about that. What could have been. I said, you have to grab that ball. You got to grip that ball like a pair of bosoms. Grab him. And he just didn't grab it. He missed it. I did the watch along with Chef Dan, and we were just, my goodness, the enthusiasm and the excitement level that I had. It was a fun Jet game, but there is no sleep for moral victories here. Now you have to go out and win games. We go back there, back to before halftime. I know we were talking about on that 4th and 2. I know I was telling Chef Dan, I said, you know what? He asked me, should the Jets kick for this, or should they go for the first down, with 30 seconds? And I believe they had one more timeout, or they used their last timeout there to think about it. And I was telling Chef Dan, you know what? You kick the field goal, because then you go down by 2 to halftime, and then you receive the football at half. And dare I say, the way the offense was moving and humming and going, and the way the defense had right at that point turned over Mahomes twice, then I say, you know what? Dare I say it, the next time Kansas City actually gets the football, they could actually be trailing by either 1 point or possibly 5, depending on what the scoring play was with the Jets coming out of halftime. So, yes, go for it. I know Greg Zuerlein missed that kick. It hit the uprights. If he just would have, could have, should have. This is the game. The Jets, when they look at film on this game, there was a lot of would have, could have, should have. That's the bad part of it, of the good, bad, and the ugly. The good part, again, Zach Wilson looking so comfortable, moving around. They play them like they played them on BYU. What I've been saying, if you watch me on the watch-alongs and on the JETS-ALORIDAN podcast, if you're a regular follower, and if you're not, please subscribe, follow along with us, watch along with us. If you're a Jet fan, I'm just a regular 9-to-5 Jet fan who loves this team for many years. Root for them. Feel the same pain, the same letdown as you, Jet fans, and I just ask you to just join me. Let's get going. Let me hear your thoughts. Comment on the video, comment on below, watch along with us. Also part of the representing the JETS-ALORIDAN on the AFC Shakedown on the Mafia Sports Report channel, as well here on this BX Sports Jedi Network, as well as the Ace Per Head, and of course, shout out to our friends, the Sports Dynasty. So just wanted to give that shout out to our friends that are part of the AFC Shakedown Rivalry podcast. Now, when I'm looking at this game as a fan, and I'm encouraged with what I see from Zach Wilson. The good is, look, maybe the game slowed down. The good was he was making some back shoulder throws. He had like about 4 back shoulder throws that were phenomenal. MVP type of level throws. And don't misinterpret, don't misconstrue, don't think that I'm putting Wilson in that level, because you gotta, one thing about this league, you gotta be consistent. You gotta show us week after week, even when you don't have your A game, do you have enough to win those games? That's what separates the mediocre from the best, from the greats. What can you do? There's intangibles on the field, on your game, which are to win football games. At the end of the day is what you do and get the W. That's why we said there's no sleep for moral victories. Now, when I see Zach Wilson make those back shoulder throws and adjust, okay, we got something here. especially if teams on defense either with cover 2 or they want to load up the box in. You got to be able to throw the football over the top and hit those back shoulders where you're not going. And sometimes the coaching staff coaches a little bit scared, or they still have handcuffs or reserved on Wilson with the interception. Yes, Wilson has to prove that he could throw the football in the middle of the field and make the underneath throws simpler without overthrowing and throwing it to wrong jerseys. I get that. That's on some of these coaches' back of their minds. But maybe now that the game is slowing down and also you install confidence, maybe he takes his maturity, his maturation as an NFL quarterback to another level. It's only been one game. You could say it's only been a half, or you could say it's only been 3/4 of good football. We saw that in the Pittsburgh game last year. We saw that a little bit with the Eagles in that loss. We've seen sprinkles, small spurts with him. But here's a big difference. There is an Aaron Rodgers in the guy's ear to help him, tell him what are the reads. He's like another coach. If anything, if Aaron Rodgers never plays another down for the New York Jets, and he's helped get into that kid's ears and help him unlock as an NFL quarterback, as an NFL, dare I say, and I know I'm not going overboard. I don't want to step my boundary because Zach has to prove it week after week again. This is a reserve. This is the right to reserve your thoughts. But as of right now, if everything moves forward the way we think or we see on the field this past Sunday night, if he turns into a, dare I say, a franchise quarterback, and with the help of an Aaron Rodgers, and he never plays another down. Actually, that was a well-deserved pickup. Things happen for a good reason. I live by a motto, the good book says it. And you have to, things when the worst things happen, but happens for a good reason. We don't later down, maybe months, years, we see why. Yeah, I digress. I return back to the football talk. If that happens and that kid gets unlocked, it's well worth it. We'll look back at this game, Sunday Night Football, when the whole entire world was tuning in to see a pop star, not a football player. Maybe a football quarterback was born. Maybe. Again, we all have our right to change our mind and have doubts. Absolutely. Now, you saw Zach play well. Garrett Wilson, you know who he is. I thought Lazard played a pretty good game. I saw Gibson in the game bringing some speed. Now, here's a little bit of the bad also. Michael Carter, the running back, you asked and we saw you on that tirade on the sidelines arguing with your offensive coach. You wanted more plays. And be honest with you, I do like Michael Carter on third downs because he does chip block. He knows how to get into that hole, use his body, get that linebacker coming up on blitz, stop him, and also sometimes sneaks through and get open in the middle of the field. There was a play there where Zach hit him in the middle field, wide open, a clean football, you dropped it. And that would have been a 15-yard pickup and more, depending if you would have broke some tackles. There was opportunities for yards after the catch, after that play. You'd simply dropped it. You have to make the amends of the most when those limited opportunities come your way, Michael Carter. You can't sit there arguing, complaining, moping, and demanding when you're put in a position. You have to come up huge and make the most so you could get more opportunities and be used as a feature. Listen, I'm going to be honest right now. The way Dalvin Cook is looking in the backfield, he looks shot. He looks disinterested. He looks like he doesn't want to run with the football. He doesn't want to play. Don't know if he's 100% from that shoulder injury. If we're going to around week 7, week 6, around that area, and Dalvin Cook looks like he's running in quicksand, I wouldn't be surprised the Jets cut him. You got, and it's up to you, Michael Carter. I remember that tweet that the quarterback room was fine when there were thoughts of bringing in Ezekiel Elliott or bringing in another running back. You said the running back room was fine. We have enough talent. Go out there and prove it. That's a challenge to you, Michael Carter. Go out there and prove it. I believe that you're a hell of, again, I'm giving you your flowers on the way you pass protect. and the way you chip block and you buy your quarterback time. I also guess I would like you sometimes for you to change the pace and carry the football for some series, not just go out there and doing the grunt work and rolling up your sleeves. You should get rewarded. I thought in game 2, they should have rewarded you in the Dallas game the way you were playing your butt off. They should have had you carry the football. And you have to do that because if Cooks don't, you're going to have to get some more touches with Hall. And remember, I keep saying it time and time again, Izzy Arabakanda, the 7th rounder from Pitt, that kid is a running back special. I said it, and I'm going to stay with it until I am proven different, until they cut him or if they don't play him. He is going to replace Breece Hall as the running back on this team. I seen so much good stuff from him in preseason. Unfortunately, he got injured. I don't know if he's 100%, if they're nursing him. So maybe later down the road, bring in some fresh explosive legs, and especially when the weather gets cold, you don't throw much, the elements, and you want to have a pass attack. And Izzy with his fresh legs could change the game. Maybe that's what the Jets organization as a whole is doing, saving him there. So I understand that and see what you got out of Brandon Cooks. And if Cooks again, which looks like he might not be there, I think that might be the Jets' plan all along. If he doesn't show us something, you get rid of him. You play half a season, or at the trading deadline, trade him to a team that needs a running back, and you move on from him. It looks that way. But Michael Carter, you have to catch the football. And also it looks like Breece Hall, the way he's running the football, he's still explosive because he's got that grand slam power, but he doesn't have the cut or the speed yet. I don't think he's 100% there from his ACL tear. There was a play there where he took it, one of his longest runs, the longest run of the game. He had a blocker. If he only cut to the right, to the outside, what he had his tight end for leading the way. He ran into the defender. The defender knocked him down, and instead of taking it to the house on that run, he actually was taken down. We saw that also earlier in the year when he had a chance to go down the sideline, to go all the way. He kind of ran out of gas. And you know what? I can't blame them. I can't get on him for that because it still was a huge, big, impactful play. But man, I just think of how the course of some of those games or the offense would have changed if he would have just taken those two to the house. You know what? If you're going to do this later down the season when the games are more impactful, where there's tiebreakers implication, where you have a seeding opportunity, you know what? If your legs are already there, multiple top. Let's go for it. I thought Breece Hall is getting there, almost there. I'm trying to see who else. I know offensive line played extremely well. Then Mekhi Becton had a false start that killed the drive there, but it was still balanced. It was still encouraging. Just that one play that Wilson overthrew to Garrett Wilson, where I thought he was going to do an Odell Beckham one-handed play. I said, if he would have just got that. There was a few of them that would have so close. Randall Cobb had an important drop there, but he also had a hell of a catch too. So Cobb is like a 50-50 with him. He does a great one, good one. We should have thought. I know we all say he should have caught that Hail Mary against the Patriots. That's just in the past. We'll move on with that. All in all, Hackett has to continue to utilize the kid the way like that. I love the rollouts. There was a lot of, again, something what I've told you time and time again. Get that Zach Wilson under center. If you're going to use the play action under center, it works. You saw that, the play action. Now teams, if he's going to throw the football with that back shoulder throw, you guarantee there's some film next week. We got to now start showing some respect for Zach Wilson and that back shoulder throw. He's still got to prove it. And you can, a broken clock is correct twice a day. Remember that. And maybe that was the broken clock situation with Zach Wilson on Sunday night. I hope not. I'm hoping no. I'm hoping this is where the clock moves forward for Zach Wilson development. With that said, if the play action continues to work, no matter how poorly you're running the football at times, you still want to commit to the run. And with the play action pass, that's going to open that up. I think, I've also, only thing that I'm going to say that I have a negative here with Hackett, he should have used Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman should have played this game. That's his former teammates. There's always an extra emphasis or an extra level of enthusiasm. You want to stick it to your old teammates for cutting you, for taking you off the cruise ship. There was going to be a chip on his shoulder. I think if they would have used him in the passing game, short passing game, that guy would have been explosive, run after the catch. You thought Pacheco was running hard. Guaranteed with Hartman in the field, he would have done a lot of cutbacks, a lot of cutting, and that guy would have been amped up to break some tackles, knock some of his teammates on their tuchus. I think they should have went and used them. That's the only negative I'm going to have on that offense there. And my wide receivers and tight ends, please catch the football. Go out there and grab that football like you're grabbing derrieres on a Saturday night at the club. Let's go. All right. So let's go with the defense. I thought it's something that was bad on the defense was the inability getting again. It's been no pun intended, an Achilles heels to this team. Third down stoppage. The defense do not get that third down stoppage. They're 3rd and 22. Now, first and foremost, for all those conspiracy theorists out there, you had a lot of fuel to your fire last night, and I was one of them that yelled that. You know what, me here on the Sports Jedi Network, we do wrestling. We do the Heal the Ring podcast. We watch wrestling. We watch scripts. We know about script wrestling. We know about all that stuff. When 3rd and 22, the line judge come all the way from Montgomery County, all the way from Kansas City, all the way to the referee. He whispers in his ear. I don't know what the hell he said. Then he goes and talks to Mahomes. Then Mahomes, go look at it. This is all there. And I said that in real time. Mahomes then, 3rd and 22, said, boy, here comes the script. And it's on the watch along. What does Mahomes do? Step in the pocket, run around. He went for 25 on 3rd and 22. With no Jets in sight. Everybody was running. And I know they were in a cover 2. And when you cover 2, when you're on a man-to-man cover 2, you got your back to the quarterback. I get it. But when all the defensive end just goes, they parted the seas. It felt like it was Moses, okay, coming out of Egypt, and God opened up the seas, the Red Sea, because he just had that and he just went for 25 yards. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Not even who wrote this? Vince McMahon? It was like, what the heck? And that's not even the worst part of it. And I was upset with the defense. That drive. They should have there were 2 opportunities to get out on third down, couldn't convert. Then the one that was totally the low blow to your nutsack. You get the play, one-on-one Sauce Gardner. And before that, the Jermaine Johnson illegal contact. I mean, come on. Ticky-tacky. Jermaine Johnson, he's a defensive end. He wasn't the officiating. That was the ugly. The ugly was the officiating. This is where I get to the ugly. They were disgusting. Disgusting. Truly disgusting. When you get that play where Sauce Gardner they've been hand grappling all night. Nothing egregious, back and forth. They allowed it 3 quarters and a half. And then on that very play, you're going to call that illegal contact. It was just barely at the 5 yards. And it wasn't even part of the play. That wasn't going to affect the outcome of the play. So you get the interception by the safety. And then the referee comes and throws the flag after, oh, wait a minute. You're not supposed to catch that football. You're not supposed to intercept that football. I'm going to throw a flag. Terrible job on the NFL. Terrible job. Listen, if it's going to be scripted, let us know. Let us know. Because WWE is still popular. WWE is extremely popular. Just make the characters then. Let them cut promos. Let them cut vignettes. And you know what? We can watch it. You know what? And it seems like it. Don't you think it's more scripted? Look at what now with the Taylor Swift all of a sudden coming out. And what you're going to do when Taylor Swift and the Swifties run wild on you. That's pretty much what we need for her to get on a microphone and cut a promo during the game. Like the way Hulk Hogan used to do. That's what it looks like. It was black eye. And not because I'm a Jet fan. Because I'm already used to. getting yang bang, the fake spike, the butt fumble, all the other stupid nonsense when it comes to the Jet organization. Blair Thomas, Burning Golston, Dave Milner. I'm used to that. But when it keeps happening time and time again, and you see that, it's like it's an uphill climb. It's like NFL. And then the email comes out. Oh, we're sorry, we missed the play. The play was misplayed by the NFL officiating. Screw you! You cost us a game. Ask the Saints how they feel when the officiating screw them. It can't have that. You can't have that, especially when this is the most important thing: gambling. From football pools, from DraftKings, from fantasy, from everything there. You can't have that. You can't the referees got to stop making about them. Nobody tunes in to watch the referees. It's the same thing in boxing. No one wants to see the referee. They just, nobody watches the USC for Herb Dean. Nobody for Mills Lane. Nobody watches for Earl Hebner. Nobody watches the sports for the officiating. Although you got guys that want to make their name for themselves, like the Angel Hernandez and the rest of the football refs. We don't care about you. Just call the game. The more silent you are, the greater your job is being done. When you don't know the officiating, that's even delicious, because you know what? You didn't affect the game at all. The constant false start from the left tackle of the Kansas City Chiefs. He moves 1 to 2 seconds before the ball is snapped. And this is what, since Thursday night, opening night, the guy has been moving and still nothing. That's why, again, is this crap scripted? My goodness. And I don't want to sound like a sore loser. It's not a sore loser, because you know what? There's no room for moral victories. You got to move on. This is the league where you only have 17 of these, and you have to make each one of them count. And you can't let the black and white zebras take them away from you. You can't. Also, again, the Jets have to go out there and dominate. You can't start playing from behind. You got to go out there and score early and play with a lead for the love of Pete. You were down by 10 against the Bills and came back. You were down by 17. You tied it. You have to play with the lead. Okay? And that's the good, the bad, and the ugly on this Jets game, week 4. Patrick, Zach Wilson outplayed Patrick Mahomes. Just go figure that when you could say that again. Yeah, Wilson, 28 of 39 for 245 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mahomes, 18 for 30, 203 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. And I understand everyone says Zach Wilson fumbled that exchange from the center. That right there, that stuff happens. That's just a plain old mistake. And you saw Mahomes had that done. Mahomes' only difference is that's why, again, I said it time and time again. You have to line up under center. The shotgun should be used, yes, sparingly, third down, whatever the case is. Not every play. If he was under center, who knows? You saw Mahomes was under center. He botched the exchange, and what he did, he took the football and ran it for 2 yards forward and got a first down. And I'm not saying that's going to happen every time when if that would not happen in the Zach Wilson case. That football is an oblong shape. It goes anywhere once it hits the ground. It's tricky. It's not round. We know that. Anything can happen with that football. But my point, under center, you might have a better chance to just fall on it and kill, and the down is dead. Than when you're going back and you're hitting off your hands, and who knows where that ball is going to go. You could kick off the lineman's back foot, and you saw what happened there. And I know Wilson wanted to blame that on him on that exchange. Shit happens. Things happen. I get that. And whether they won the game, we wouldn't know. But they had momentum. They sure had momentum. But they also had momentum when they took that pick 6. When they had that pick and the referee decides to call that whistle. And kudos to Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to tip my cap to you, because you could have ran that touchdown in there. You slagged. You did the right football play. You didn't care about the gambling marks who had the 9.5. It would have been probably a 10-point game, and your Kansas City Chiefs would have covered. You went down. You know what? That was a classy move for us Jet fans. You didn't beat us. It was a 3-point. Again, no loss is a loss, no matter if it's 1 or 10 or 20 or 50. Ask the Broncos. It's still just one. It's just a loss. So we'll move on there. I thought Pacheco helped inspire the Jets a little bit. And again, I'm a little worried with Rob Saleh. If it took Pacheco to go do push-ups on the Jets field to get C.J. Mosley riled up and the Jets defense a little bit riled up, we got a little bit of an issue there, Mr. Coach Saleh. You got to get these guys ready early part, because you know you have no room for error. We don't know what Zach Wilson's going to do on offense. You got to get that defense fired up and ready to go starting the game. You can't have those slow starts. I thought the Jets did a good job on Kelsey. He only had 60 yards for 6 receptions. Lazard, 3 receptions for 61 yards and a touchdown. I thought he played well. Again, that kick from Greg Zuerlein hitting the uprights would have changed the course of the game there. I was okay with Saleh's decision going at it at 4th and 2, kicking that field goal there. I'm not gonna harp on that, but that was that game there. At the end, it was an exciting, competitive Sunday night football game. We lost again. I feel I hate being on the short end of those kind of games. Especially the adrenaline rushing at 11:30 at night. You have to get up to work the next day, but you're so pumped or either irate or thinking of the possibilities that they would have won that game. Oh my God, you're 2-2. You're 500 going into Denver, have a chance to go up against a porous Denver team. Now it's a must-win. You have to go to a tough city with the altitude. I know the Denver Broncos aren't nothing to write home about. They still have a pretty decent, or at least a overrated head coach in Peyton. We know he has some harsh words for Nathaniel Hackett. Russell Wilson is still a Super Bowl winning quarterback. The defense hasn't played up to his bill in Denver, the whole as a team, but you're going into that hostile altitude of a stadium. I know Zach has played in that altitude and BYU and so forth. It's going to be interesting. Can Zach carry that momentum, that enthusiastic, good performance? Can he continue to do good things and move the football against this terrible Denver Bronco team? Or are the Jets going to get conservative? I thought they were a little conservative on the latter part of the 4th quarter with Zach Wilson. I'd say, open it up more, man. You could have done some redirects. Again, this is where Nicole Hartman would have been a hell of a player, or Gibson. You would have Cole Hartman and Gibson going around with the double handoff. Oh, my God, with the speed those two guys have with some blockers. I think that's what kept me up, wondering of all those different plays design and so forth. But now you go to Denver. Let's turn the page on that. You go to Denver, you got to beat those Broncos. You got to go out there and play with the lead. Play with the lead and let the defense make some plays. I thought Quentin Williams and Huff is a premier pass rusher and 3rd down for the Jets. Phenomenal pass attack. We even saw a Carl Larson sighting yesterday. Carl Larson was actually in uniform and actually did a play yesterday. C.J. Mosley, I thought played okay. Again, dropped another chance for an interception. But that's C.J. Mosley. That's what you get with him. Quincy Williams and Quentin Williams both, they played phenomenal. Again, Sauce Gardner, he's going to get one, bro. There's only a matter of time before Gardner makes a pick and takes it to the house. I thought DJ Reed played okay, played really well. He had a chance to get Patrick Mahomes, and he just went right by him. He was going so fast. If he would have just collided with him, I think he would have knocked the crap out of Mahomes into 2 weeks from now. Seriously, that's how fast he was coming at full speed. Mahomes lucky there. Kansas City breathed a sigh of relief there. I just want to see William McDonald get some playing time, especially with that high altitude in Denver and the high energy that player that he is. I think they're going to need McDonald. I keep saying that week after week. I can't wait for Zaire Barnes to get back healthy. He's another linebacker, I think, who can help the Jets with depth. I thought Solomon Thomas had a pretty decent game, but Clemens was awfully quiet. I don't think Clemens actually played in the game. Clemens is another one who makes an impactful plays from time to time on that defensive line. Against Denver, not a lot of Cortland Sutherland and Judy. Hopefully they can stop and go out there. I haven't seen the line yet. I'm assuming the Jets should be favorite, or at least a pick'em game going out on. It's a 4:05 game, afternoon game. Hopefully we can get back there. Listen, we win that. We were just one game under 500. We're 2-3, and you beat another conference opponent. You're gonna have 2 conference wins. I definitely want. Just think if we would have beaten Mahomes, we would have, that would have been, a second conference win. You're still 1-1 in division. You go out there in Denver 3-2. You got three conference win. All those things matter especially in the end of the season. And if there's aspiration that, dare I say, number 8, it looks like he wants to define sports science and medicine science to come back. He was moving well in crutches. He looked like he was agile moving. He actually threw a pass on the sideline. I was like, please don't get injured. Don't do anything crazy. I know he'll be back to be under to help. I think his presence in the team will help some way, somehow, in the building, prep talk, motivation in the ear of Zach. I think Zach wants to play well. He really respects Rodgers, and I think that was a motivational factor. Now go out there and win that game in Denver, man. Go out there and win the game in Denver. Set us up there for 2-3. I know they have not been, and I'm not looking ahead. Again, I'm just gonna say one-time year. I know they haven't been the Eagles at all in their history. But you know what? We'll worry about Denver right now. Get to 2-3 with a chance to get to 3-3. I know Jet Nation will sign up for that. And of course, we'll wait and see what happens there. I hope they have a great week of practice. I hope Wilson continues to build on that great play. And of course, this is the JETS-ALORIAN podcast. You can find us anywhere on the audio platform and Apple, on Spotify, Speaker, or anywhere you get your audio platform, as well on all the different video platforms on YouTube, Rumba, Twitch, Twitter, Trivia, and Facebook. We thank you guys for joining me here. Tune in for our watch along. We'll have the Jets. We're going to have a doubleheader watch along this Sunday. We're going to have Jets. And first, we're going to start off with the Giants against the Dolphins. And then we're going to stay on the air and just usher in the Jets taking on the Broncos. So join myself, Chef Dan, and may the sports be with you. And of course, this is the way, the JETS-ALORIAN podcast. Take flight. We'll see you next time. All our Jet fans, we'll love you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Join me. Together, we can rule the galactic destiny and subscribe. If you only knew the power of the sports stadium.
This is the way.